President Ruto, let me tell you, 2027 kitaumana.
President William Samoei Ruto not being able to secure a second term in office beyond 2027 under the famous one term is a reality that he should accept. He is not the only one who should be accepting this, but also his supporters. This is because even the persons who are closer in his circle are beginning to tell him that 2027 is not gonna be easy. One, we have the chief whip. We have Boni Halwale telling President William Samoei Ruto, I am the one who brought you in Kakamega, but you did not see that as a good gesture enough to get to listen to my advice. When 2027 arrives, then you'll realize that I am the voice in Kakamega. You're being lied to with Mudavadi. You're being lied to with Moses Masika Wetangula. When you get to Malava, you'll get to realize that the voice there is Seth Panyako. Wait until 2027 and get to know this.
President Ruto, let me tell you, 2027 kitaumana. Hapo ndio wakati utajua kwamba hapa Kakamega unahitaji Khalwale ndio ufaulu. Hapo ndio utajua Mheshimiwa President kwamba hapa Malava unahitaji Seth Panyako ndio ufanye nini? Ufaulu. Huyo mdabudi mwenye anakudanganya ati ana usemi hapa Kakamega, kama kweli yako na usemi yake aanzie Vihiga. Iliiga wao ODM yako ungamudabadi completely. Ndio anakuja kuhanya huko Kakamega. Mudabadi nalo la pepepe. Nukuwa kana mutayeni butu. Kanyana khunyola kanyora li simba ta pa pa pa.
Those are just warnings of people who are close to President William Samoei Ruto, who are warning him that, Mr. President, change your ways, lest you be a one-term president. The traditional voting pattern will not be affected from those who have been voting, but this fresh blood, this new generation is coming with the politics of issues. They are not going to be emotional, but they are going to practice the politics of issues. And that is why right now we have lots of distractions. We've seen the government using bloggers to give stories, to keep people busy online and forget about the atrocities that it's committing to the people. To forget about the high taxes, to forget about what happened back then, the abductions, to forget about the state-sanctioned abductions, extrajudicial killings. You know, the government is trying to drive an agenda which we have refused to buy. And through that, Boni Halwale is telling President William Samoei Ruto, since you are very forgetful of the good things that people did to you, and you've decided that you are so bright and you're so wise than the 43 plus million Kenyans, then hichi ndicho kiboko ambacho kitakuja kukutandika. This is the cane that's going to wipe you out of that presidency seat. Is it too late for William Samoei Ruto to cleanse himself? Yes and no. But still, one term is a call that he cannot evade. He can decide to resign. He can decide to persecute in the court of law all those who are responsible to unalive demonstrators during the June 25th, to persecute all those who conducted extrajudicial killings. Because remember, He is one person who promised that there shall never be extrajudicial killings. There shall never be a squad to conduct political revenge. But is that the case? No. And Kenyans are not forgetful. There was conflict when the one-term movement, actually the United Opposition Front, kept on saying, yes, our agenda is one term. We may not know whom we are going to vote for, but we completely know whom we are not going to vote for. Now, there was this debate asking that, have you seen any country whereby the president has only gone for one term? And several cases were there. And when referring to the issue of overturning the government, or the people making sure that their will is respected because they're the people who own the sovereign power. Now, this was in reference to Madagascar. We had some leaders who are now saying, now, you see, the Madagascar way, now the army has taken over the government, things are not doing good. Those are just but propaganda. Yes, better we go that line if it will secure our resources. We are not in the era whereby fear appeal is talking to this young generation. There is a time I gave these statistics, and now allow me remind you. You see, by the elections of 2022, we had 14 million persons who were just this close to voting, between 1 to 2 years for them to be eligible to vote. That was 2022. Today, we are in 2025. Almost 3 years since the president was elected, meaning these 14 million persons, the young, the Gen Zs, have attained the age of being eligible to vote. Should they take IDs and register as voters, then their votes will be a deciding, their votes will be a tsunami. Leave alone what we were being told about the Northeastern by Juneta Mohammed, because for Northeastern, that's a rigging scheme. We can talk about that, because you can tell me that a population that was 2 million in 2022, yeah, or even in the last census that was conducted was 2 million, and between 2022 to date, they can reach up to a point whereby they can become a deciding voter. No, that doesn't add up. We are talking about these 14 million people who are now eligible to vote. The tribal card that they're trying to play right now is not gonna work. Kenyans are more united than ever, set for a few characteristics that the NCIC should get grasp of, prosecute them, and let them face justice. We cannot afford to go back the 2007 way. You, the person that you knock my door to ask for salt, you, the person that I ask to attend your ratio, your wedding, so that I give that coverage, somebody wants to tell me and you that we are enemies. Is that even practical? It is not. So the tribal capital that they have used far too long is slippery. They cannot use it anymore. So one term is a call that not even President William Samoei Ruto can evade unless he uses force, which again, this time, there is no that person who will quell the demonstrators. You know what I mean? Even in the traditional voters pattern, we have millennials, a greater chunk of them, who are like, no, you have lied to us for far too long. It is time to take up the mantle. This political space is getting murkier. Deeply talk to the persons who argue with issues. Point to me one thing that Ruto has done that can convince you that he is a good president. Remember, we said 1 year to the elections, the nation will be bombarded with lots of projects for us to see that Ruto is working. But in Swahili, we call it kifumba macho, something that will be used to close our eyes so that we forget of the atrocities committed by the regime. But are we going to forget? Are we going to submit to the theatrics? What's your take? What do you think about this? Give me your thought in the comment section below. If you love content of this nature and you're watching from my YouTube channel, kindly subscribe and press notification button so anytime that we are live or we upload content of this nature, you'll be the very first person to be notified. Ahmed Khalif is my name for the unscripted talks here in Dab Radio. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Kwa timba kali za Afrika, Dab Radio ndio mpango mzima.